Chucky, my friend, you've been running around for a while now, huh? I mean, I get it, you're passionate, you've got a bit of fire in you, well, quite literally in some cases. But I think we both know that chasing people with sharp objects and trying to possess souls might not exactly be the way to win over hearts. In fact, it's got people running in the other direction, and let's face it, you're not even that fast. Being pint-sized has its drawbacks, doesn't it? Now, I'm not here to judge, I'm here to help. And let's be honest, you've got a track record that could use some adjustments. You're known for terror, for fear, for pulling the kinds of pranks that leave people in therapy for years. But Chucky, let me tell you something, you weren't made for this. Not even a possessed doll is beyond hope. You know, even Saul was out there causing all kinds of havoc before he became Paul. You remember that story, right? He went from hunting Christians to becoming one of the greatest apostles of all time. Now, I'm not saying you've got to aim for sainthood just yet, but hey, let's start by putting down the knife and maybe stop trying to play musical chairs with other people's bodies. You've got a bit of a control issue, Chucky. You want to be in charge, running the show. But here's the thing, the greatest leaders don't wield power through fear. They lead by love, by compassion, by showing others a better way. And right now, you're leading a one-doll parade of destruction. It's time to turn that around. Maybe try leading with a smile. Trust me, it's far more effective. And people are a lot less likely to run screaming from you. Chucky, there's this thing we like to call turning the other cheek. I think you could really benefit from it. I mean, think about it. Every time someone crosses you, your first instinct is to grab the nearest weapon. But have you ever tried, I don't know, not doing that? I get it. Old habits die hard, though not as hard as you try to make people die. But change is possible. In fact, it's easier than you think. Picture this. Instead of lurking in the shadows, waiting for the perfect moment to jump out and terrify someone, you could be waiting to surprise someone with a compliment. Now that's terrifying, right? A little kindness goes a long way. People don't expect it, especially from someone with your, shall we say, reputation. You'd catch them off guard in the best way. Chucky, you've made your mark, I'll give you that. But it's not a permanent one, at least not yet. I mean, the flood had Noah, the plagues had Pharaoh, and horror movies have you. But here's the thing, even the biggest storms pass, and people, they change, they grow. You've been stuck in this loop of chaos for so long, maybe you've forgotten that change is even an option. But I'm here to remind you, you've got more potential than you're giving yourself credit for. Think about it. You've got the persistence of the Energizer Bunny and the attitude of a grumpy old man who's lost his favorite seat at church. I can work with that. All that energy, that's a gift. But it's time to channel it into something constructive. I'm not saying you need to start building houses like Noah, but maybe stop tearing them down. Just a thought. Listen, I know you've had your share of, let's call them learning experiences. You've been through fire, literally. But do you know what that fire can do? It refines, it purifies, the same way gold is purified by heat. And right now, Chucky, you've been stuck in this furnace of bad decisions for far too long. It's time to come out the other side, because believe me, no one's ever too far gone. Not even a doll that's been possessed for years. The fact that you're still around, still fighting, means there's something in you that wants to change. Maybe you haven't admitted it to yourself yet, but deep down, you know this path you're on isn't going to end well. You can laugh and plot all you want, but at the end of the day, no one really wants to be the villain. Not even you, Chucky. So, what do you say? Are you ready to try something new, to turn over a new leaf, or in your case, a new knife-free existence? I'm telling you, Chucky, there's more to life than scaring the daylights out of people. You've got a good heart somewhere in there. You just need to dig it out from under all that chaos, and I'm here to help you do it. Chucky, I want to talk to you about something important, your choices. Now, you may feel like you're stuck in this cycle of violence, but let me tell you, you've always had a choice. It might not feel that way sometimes, especially with all the dark influences you've had, but believe me, free will is a powerful gift. And the best part, it's never too late to use it for good. Now, you've been making some colorful choices over the years. You know, switching bodies, causing mayhem, sharpening your knife collection. Interesting hobbies, I'll admit. But let's take a step back for a second. There's another way to channel that creative energy of yours. Instead of plotting how to get the next soul or scaring folks into early retirement, you could start choosing a path that doesn't involve all that mess. Think about it, Chucky. Every day you wake up, if dolls even wake up, that is, and you make a choice. You can either keep playing this same old horror game, or you can decide, today I'm going to do something good. Today, I'm not going to terrify anyone. Maybe today I'll bake a pie or help an old lady across the street. I know it sounds funny, but once you start making good choices, it becomes easier. Trust me, even for a doll like you. Let me tell you about Saul again, Chucky. That guy. Talk about bad choices. He was literally on his way to hurt people when I stepped in. And in that moment, he had a choice. He could have ignored me and kept going, but he didn't. He chose to change. And that one choice changed his entire life, and let's be honest, a whole lot of other lives too. Now, I know what you're thinking. Jesus, I'm not some biblical character. I'm a doll possessed by a serial killer. Well, Chucky, I hate to break it to you, but free will applies to everyone. It doesn't matter if you're a person, a doll, or a guy stuck in a fish. Yes, I'm talking about Jonah. The point is, no one's exempt from the power of choice. Chucky, if you want to keep living your life in a way that makes people lock their doors at night, that's your call. But if you ever get tired of the chase, the fear, the loneliness that comes with being, well, there's another option. You can choose to stop, to change, to be someone or something that people don't fear. And let me tell you, being loved, that's a lot more satisfying than being feared. Ask anyone. You've got potential, Chucky. And your past, it doesn't have to define you. You see, every choice you make is a step in a direction. Right now, you've been walking down a pretty dark road, but here's the good news. There's a fork in that road. One path leads to more of the same, more chaos, more running, more fear. But the other, that leads to peace, to redemption, to a better life. And it's not too late to turn down that road, my friend. Besides, you're a doll. It's not like you're going to age out of this thing anytime soon. You've got plenty of time to make better choices. But why wait? Why not start today? After all, life, whether it's in a doll or a human, is about what you do with the time you have. And Chucky, I think it's time you used your time for something a little less stabby. Remember, every day you wake up, you've got the power to choose. You can either keep being the Chucky that makes people run screaming, or you can choose to be the Chucky that makes people smile. Now that's a plot twist I'd love to see. What do you say? Chucky, let's talk about compassion. I know, it's not exactly in your wheelhouse, but hear me out. Compassion is one of the most powerful things you can show someone. It's the exact opposite of what you've been doing, which is why I think it might be good for you. You've been spreading fear, right? Well, imagine what it would be like if you started spreading compassion instead. Now that's something that could really surprise people. Think about it. Instead of sneaking up on someone to scare them out of their wits, you could sneak up on them and, I don't know, offer them a hug. I know you're not exactly the cuddly type, but you'd be amazed at what a little kindness can do. Trust me, people won't see it coming. And isn't that what you're all about? The element of surprise? You see, Chucky, compassion is what connects us all. Even in your case, being a doll and all, you're still connected to people. You've just been using that connection in the wrong way. Instead of scaring them, hurting them, why not try helping them? When you show someone compassion, you're doing more than just being nice. You're reminding them that they matter, that they're important. And you know what? That feels good. A lot better than scaring them half to death, I promise. I know what you're thinking, but Jesus, scaring people is kind of my thing. Well, I'm not saying you have to give up your sense of fun. You can still surprise people, Chucky. But why not surprise them in a good way? Do something unexpected. Show them kindness instead of fear. It'll throw them off balance, sure, but in a way that leaves them smiling instead of screaming. And believe me, that's a lot more satisfying.